What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Hands On channel. And today we're going to be getting into a topic that's quite stinky and disgusting. And I'm not even sure if I should make a video about it, but I'm going to anyways because I find it quite comical. And it also illustrates the fact that the world truly is going to shit. I mean, everything. I can't imagine going back in time and telling somebody back in the 80s or 90s that this is actually a thing. So let's get right into this. A star from 90 Day Fiancé, apparently it's a show, I've never seen it. She revealed that she had been hospitalized after selling her farts online. Yes, you read that right. Stephanie Matto, who appeared on 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days, was in the news recently after she admitted to being hospitalized as a result of selling her farts in jars. So she got sent to the hospital for it. So let's get into this. Let's find out. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. This is a real wet one here. So let's dive in. Stephanie was selling her farts for $1,000 a jar and made $200,000 doing it. I mean, this is just unbelievable. I mean, she could have been faking it. Who knows if there really were farts in there? I actually saw an interview with Adam Carolla where he interviewed her, and she was saying she put things inside the jars besides just farts, so there'd be like a piece of an apple in there or something like that. It was just unfreaking believable that people were paying her anything but $1,000 a jar, and she made 200 grand doing it. I'm guessing it'd be, there would be some tax breaks for her because she'd have to invest in those jars and stuff like that. But the rest of it just all be labor. So, I mean, bravo, I guess, on making 200 grand out of hot air that comes out of your rear end. I mean, that's just freaking incredible that there are that many people that are just so debauched that would be willing to participate in such a thing. But yeah, that just goes to show you the times and the internet, and I'm sure there's all sorts of other things like that out there. So Stephanie revealed that she has decided to retire from the fart selling business. So I'm sure a lot of people are really bummed out about that. They're not going to get their fart in a jar, despite making 200 grand selling her farts in jars due to a health scare that saw her hospitalized, according to the Jam Press. I thought I was having a stroke, and that these were my final moments, Stephanie told the outlet. I was overdoing it. I mean, this girl, bless her farts. I mean, she just worked so hard, and, she strained so hard that she was just overdoing it. And, $1,000 a fart, my God, I mean, I guess you'd kind of become a slave to the fart jar. You'd have to carry one around with you all the time, because what if you were in the middle of a restaurant, a fancy restaurant, and suddenly you had the urge? I mean, you can't let $1,000 slip out between your cheeks like that, without capturing it in a jar and selling it to someone, right? So I can see where it probably was quite stressful for her. She probably had to stay home a lot and stay near the mason jar box so that she could be ready to make one on demand. My God. Just unfreaking believable. So she thought she was having a stroke, and those were her final moments. And I don't know if she was squeezing one out at that time. It doesn't really say. But the TLC star revealed that she changed her diet to a fiber-rich diet such as beans, eggs, and protein shakes. So, my God, have you ever eaten like hard-boiled eggs and then, farted in the car later on? You're like, it about drives you out of the vehicle just by yourself. So I can't imagine what a combination of beans, eggs, and protein shakes coming out of this 130-pound girl, or whatever she is, 118-pound girl, whatever. I can't imagine how bad that would be. So anyways, back into the story here. Apparently she was overdoing it because she was just eating that stuff every day. So she was seeing 50 orders a week on the adult site Unfiltered, which she founded. So she is a true entrepreneur. She set this whole site up, this whole website, Unfiltered, just so that she'd be able to sell her farts in a jar. Brilliant. And I would argue, if she's already thought of the farts in a jar, what would people be willing to pay for like a little bit of spit? What if she spit in the jar? Or what if she peed in the jar? Would she be legally allowed to sell that? I don't know. Or pooped in a jar. There actually used to be a song called Keeping Your Poop in a Jar, and you should go check that out right after this video. In fact, I'll provide a link because it's just ringing through my head as I'm reading this, because I'm just astounded that someone has figured out how to profit off farting. My God, I fart a lot, so I could potentially be a really rich man. So anyways, let's get back into this. And I wonder, there's different levels of farts. We all know. There's the ones that are the real long, real loud, like a lion roar, and then there, like Leonidas screaming or something like that. There's that one, and then there's the squeaker. That's like a kind of a squeaky, tight fart. I wonder if there was different price points, or if she cut a break, if it was a silent but deadly, or I don't know. It's really interesting because there's a lot of dynamics to this that they don't go into much depth here in the story, and it just brings up more questions to me. Stephanie says she felt a pinching sensation around her heart and thought she was having a heart attack. So, this is a serious deal. And so in order to keep up with the orders, Stephanie had upped her diet. So that's probably where a lot of that came from. Just unbelievable. And she says, I remember within one day I had about 3 protein shakes and a huge bowl of black bean soup, she told the outlet. I could tell that something was not right that evening when I was lying in bed and I could feel a pressure in my stomach moving upward. So it was going the wrong way. It should have been going down to the fart zone where she could have made, the way she was feeling, she probably could have made cranked out 5 or 6 farts off of that one deal, but it was going the wrong way and she was having pressure up in there. She couldn't breathe, so she went to the emergency room after calling a friend, and the hospital did blood tests and an EKG confirmed it wasn't a heart attack after all. I ended up going to the hospital that evening. I didn't tell my doctors about the farting in a jar. And see, I find that bizarre. If you're a proud young woman, professional, why wouldn't she be completely forthcoming with her doctors? There shouldn't be anything to be embarrassed about, right? She's made it a career of farting in a jar. So she didn't tell them. That seems a little weird. It was made clear that what I was experiencing wasn't a stroke or a heart attack, but a very intense gas pains. She said the doctor prescribed gas suppressant medication. So, kind of put her out of business. The reality star announced her retirement, according to the outlet, saying the diet was never sustainable and there was always an expiration date. And I don't know if she means that the farts in the jars expired or that she was only going to be able to fart in jars for so long. I think that's what she means. Stephanie says she could not believe the demand for her farts after she began selling farts bottled up. She only sold her farts for about 2 months, she told the outlet, but in that time she saw a high demand for the requests. I honestly couldn't believe the demand. I think a lot of people have this fetish in secret, that she told the outlet. So the interesting thing is if she's aware of this fetish that people have and she's playing into it, she's providing them an outlet for this weird ass fetish, right? Literally, weird ass fetish that, my God, I've been married for over 25 years and, I don't want to smell my wife's farts any more than I want to smell my own farts. This is just completely bizarre to me, but I get it that there's some really sick people out there that, I don't know, they think about weird things and sexual things and stuff like that. But again, my wife and I were watching like Game of Thrones or something the other night, just kind of rewatching some of those episodes. And we were like, a lot of times when we see these horrific scenes and these different things that they make these actors do, you wonder, what do these people tell their parents? Like, hey, I finally got my big break. I'm going to be in Game of Thrones. And I end up being the one that, is getting beaten to a bloody pulp, or much worse, having sexual deviant things done to you on a camera. Is that a proud moment for these young actors and these young people like this? Did she tell her parents? It's just confounding to me that, again, there's a lot of dynamics to this that aren't really delved into here. She's had a lot of people praising her, calling her a girl boss, telling her that she inspires them to be unashamed about who they are and what they ought to do. So she's big time and a feminist leader. This is a good deal for young girls to emulate this stuff. You see, this is just catastrophic. I can't imagine again that, I can't imagine in the 80s hearing about something like this and not having the person ended up being like taken to a crazy house or something, because this is just insane. This is complete insanity. Not only on her end, on the people that are paying her $1,000 a fart. This is just freaking unbelievable. And it does completely summarize in an unrelated, unnewsworthy story how our culture is literally going to shit. So, again, unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. Can you imagine? What do you think about this? I mean, are you inspired by this young girl? Do you want to go out and start selling your farts online for, maybe you won't get the premium that she was getting because, you're a middle-aged man or whatever, but I don't think anybody would pay you anything for them. So you probably shouldn't even try. It's disgusting to even think about. And much less that this girl has been, for the past month or so, I've seen her several times, several people commenting on her on YouTube and stuff like that. So she's apparently some sort of a social media celebrity. And it's just unbelievable that she would use this and say that she's inspiring young girls to not be ashamed of who they are and what they want to do. But on the other end, she's been getting a lot of negativity, it says. I've even received death threats, people telling me I should end my life and so on. And, I don't think that people should do that either. But my God, for her to act like she's some sort of a inspiration to young people to teach them the ways of feminism and how to be unashamed. And it's just unfreaking believable. So fart jars coming to a school near you or some other crap like that. I mean, would you be surprised by it if suddenly that happened and suddenly it was, kids at school are being taught how to make money on their bodily functions? I mean, nothing would surprise me anymore. I hope you guys got a little bit of a laugh out of this. And again, go watch the video, keeping your poop in a jar. And until then, we'll see you next time.